Gotham City is in peril. Gangsters control the entire city, and psychotic enforcer Jack Napier is the most dangerous one of all. A chance encounter with a winged vigilante known as Batman transforms Jack into a vicious psychopathic clown who now calls himself the Joker. With a new archenemy poised to take over the city, it's up to the Dark Knight himself to stop him in the 1989 superhero classic, Batman. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And I'm Colton Jenkins.
And this is Filmgazm. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Filmgazm podcast. I'm joined today by one of the newest Filmgazm contributors and guest hosts, Colton Jenkins, who is here to help me dig into a film that is responsible for so much that came after it, Tim Burton's Batman. So, what is your history with this film?
My dad. So this is also my dad's favorite Batman movie. So he showed it to me a long time ago when I was like 8 years old. Don't remember any of it. And then I've watched it a couple times here and there and bits and pieces. But every time I watch it, I always go back and forth between, Heath Ledger's the best Joker. And then I watch this movie and I'm like, fuck no, it's definitely Jack Nicholson. Every time I watch it, I'm always reminded of just how amazing he is as the Joker. And then, honestly, Val Kilmer as Batman is just perfect. I don't know. I like it. No, not Val Kilmer. No. Yes. No.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Oh, no.
It happens. There's a lot of Batmans out there.
I called him Vince Vaughn earlier, so that's a step up.
I feel like if you combine Vince Vaughn and Val Kilmer, you'd get somebody who kind of looks like Michael Keaton.
Probably. Yeah.
This is a classic that I feel the Dark Knight trilogy, Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, has kind of, completely eclipsed. And I've met people who've said like their thoughts on this film have changed because of that film. And I'm like, well, why should that change?
What?
You can like both. It's not mutually exclusive.
You definitely can. And I kind of want to talk about that a little later.
Yeah, for sure. This has been a film that's been kind of around my life forever. My family used to do this kind of like videotape of the month club in the 90s. And this is one of the tapes they got because I remember there being like a weird stamp on the case that I had. It's a weird detail. But I had the original 4 Batman films on tape, Batman Returns, Forever, and Robin. And I would just cycle through those as a kid. I loved all 4 of those movies. I am not ashamed to say I still love all 4 of those movies for different reasons.
Of course.
And this is comfort food to me. I adore this film. I'm excited to include it in our podcast, Batman Week. And yeah, I'm excited to get into it because the journey of getting this thing onto the big screen was kind of a pain in the ass. Nobody like every step this film took, somebody was against it. And it's got a cool story. So let's get into that story.
Yeah.
So after the campy TV show in the 60s with Adam West and the subsequent movie, Batman's popularity was at an all-time low. Everyone, that Adam West really changed what people thought of as Batman. It's this like goofy, campy, B-list superhero who talked in puns, fought goofy villains like the Penguin who used like, robot explodey penguins, and the Riddler who was always like attacking you with a puzzle. It's like, how do you take these guys seriously?
Bat shark spray or bat shark repellent. Oh, beautiful.
I will never forget that. When I watched the Batman 66 movie, at the time, I didn't know it was going to be that goofy. Because this was my Keaton was my Batman growing up. So I was like, oh, this is just another cool Batman movie. I started watching it and I'm like, what is this? And as soon as he whipped out the shark repellent, I'm like, I'm not going to watch the rest of this. It took another 15 years for me to sit down and watch the whole movie.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So with that in mind, producer Michael Uslan was kind of the guy behind kind of reshaping the cinematic experience with Batman. He pitched a darker, more comic accurate Batman to Warner Brothers, who had gotten decent success with the Superman film franchise, and they bought the project. So DC and Warner Brothers weren't always so intertwined. They had to pitch Batman to a few studios. Universal said no, which I bet they are kicking themselves now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So with that in mind, they got a studio. Batman begins. Thanks to the success of 1985's Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Tim Burton was hired to direct Batman after a lengthy director's search that included Wes Craven, Ivan Reitman, Joe Dante, and others. So many directors turned this down.
Could you imagine a Wes Craven Batman movie?
Oh my God.
That would be, I don't know if that would be like nightmare fuel or just, I don't know.
Well, for a recent podcast, I marathoned most of Wes Craven's work. And I watched a drama he did in the 90s called Music of the Heart, where like Meryl Streep plays an inner city music teacher trying to help kids learn the violin. And I'm like, Craven's got range. We didn't get to see it a lot, but he had range. So maybe he could have brought something different to Batman, or it could have just been a psycho, crazy ass Joker and just wild.
Oh man.
I know Ivan Reitman wanted to make a comedy one with like Chevy Chase as Batman and like just.
Oh, wow.
The weird thing is, I was looking in the trivia, all of the different directors who pitched this, they were pitching their cast. Every single one of them had Michael J. Fox as Robin.
Okay.
Like everybody wanted him. And then they ended up cutting him out of the movie anyway, so there was no Robin. But if Michael J. Fox had said yes, we wouldn't have gotten Back to the Future 2 and 3. So I think it worked out for them.
Glad it didn't work out, because Back to the Future 2 and 3 phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tim Burton got hired, and this was only his third film following Pee-wee, which is such a weird movie, and Beetlejuice. Like, you look at those two films, I don't think like, oh, Batman, obviously, next step.
I didn't know Beetlejuice was before Batman.
Yeah, Michael Keaton worked with Burton there, and then the producer pitched Michael Keaton. Burton's like, I remember him. Sure, I'll work with him again.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love Beetlejuice is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that movie.
They've been talking about a sequel for so long. But
they almost made one in the 90s called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
Oh no!
Exactly what it sounds like. The Deethies go to Hawaii, Beetlejuice follows them, and yeah. He said no, so they didn't make it.
Well, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, with Burton kind of hard up for a winning project now and Keaton like at the top of the A-list again, Beetlejuice 2 talks are back on, so maybe it'll happen. I kind of hope it doesn't. I don't think we need one.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. But I will never understand pop culture's fascination with Pee Wee Herman.
Dude, I don't know. I tried when I don't want to say new one because it's not that new, but when it came out on Netflix, I was like, oh, Pee Wee, boy, I can't wait. And then 5 minutes in, I was like, this was a mistake.
I hate the concept of like man-child so much. It's so irritating.
Yep. So do you like SpongeBob?
Oh, I do like SpongeBob.
I feel like it's different though when it's a real human.
Oh, it's very different. I've never really considered, like, I never put age to SpongeBob. I always figured he's like 6 or 7, even though he has a job and a house. But with a human being, it's a completely different animal, because like Pee Wee Herman is just creepy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Weird thing is the movie came before the TV show, which means the movie was so influential. They're like, Pee Wee Herman needs to be everywhere. God.
Imagine Pee Wee Herman playing Batman.
I'm honest. Oh, Paul Rubens was in Batman Returns, so he played Penguin's dad at the beginning. So he did get into these movies.
Oh wow, very cool.
I think 80s Paul Rubens, it might have made a pretty decent Joker.
Yeah, I can see that.
So Burton would obviously go on to become a household name, particularly when it came to dark fantasy. Some of his other films include Edward Scissorhands, Mars Attacks, Sleepy Hollow, Ed Wood, Big Fish, Sweeney Todd, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He's been nominated for 2 Oscars, both for Best Animated Film for the movies Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie. And Burton's one of those guys whose work speaks for itself at this point. You can tell a Burton film like that. And I love the guy. I think like I said, I think he's in desperate need of a hit, but his early work is beautiful.
I didn't know that I always thought that he made A Nightmare Before Christmas, but then I saw that he wrote it. He didn't make it, but he did something to it, or he created it. It was his idea, something like that.
He came up with the story and the characters, and he oversaw like production of the creatures and everything. So it definitely feels like a Tim Burton movie, but technically speaking, it's not. But it's the film most people associate with him, which I find ironic. The search for Bruce Wayne was also considerably lengthy. Some of the actors seriously considered were Mel Gibson, Kevin Costner, Charlie Sheen, Tom Selleck, Bill Murray, Dennis Quaid, Pierce Brosnan, and Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, maybe. I could maybe see.
80s Ford, perhaps, but then we don't get Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
You know what? I can see 80s Mel Gibson as Batman. I can see that.
I can see it. I don't know if I like it, but I can see it.
I certainly don't see Charlie Sheen, who was like, 22 at the time?
God.
And Tom Selleck wouldn't have shaved the mustache, so he was a no from the very start.
Of course.
I know Pierce Brosnan turned it down because he didn't consider superheroes to be intimidating in the slightest. He said, like, anybody who wears their underwear on the outside is not to be taken seriously. And he's going to play Dr. Fate in the Black Adam movie. So what do you have to say now, Pierce?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, Dr. Fate doesn't wear underwear on the outside of his pants. He does wear a weird helmet, right? Is that Dr. Fate? I'm pretty sure that's Dr. Fate.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. It's like a helmet with the soul of some like powerful sorcerer god or something. It's a weird character. Yeah. Producer John Peters suggested Michael Keaton, who Burton had just worked with on Beetlejuice. Keaton ultimately won the role, reprised it in the 1992 sequel Batman Returns, and everybody, all the fans were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, Michael Keaton, are you kidding me? Like, this was insane. Like, the backlash was crazy. They were flooded. Warner Brothers was flooded with letters. There was a petition. Like, he's, not my Batman. Like, that shit exploded in the late 80s. It was crazy.
Well, after Adam West, anything is a step up, I feel like. So.
Well, I guess they figured, because Michael Keaton at that point was known mostly for comedies like Night Shift and Mr. Mom. And they were like, really? That guy? It's just more campy Batman. I guess that's what they thought. And then they saw the movie and they're like, oh, okay.
This might be controversial, but I still think this movie is campy.
It's pretty campy. But it's pretty campy. But it's endearing. It's not like, it still respects Batman. I feel like the 60s movie was like, you don't even know this fucking character. But Burton, despite not really reading any comic books, he got it.
Oh, yeah.
So Keaton was nominated for an Oscar for his role in 2014's Birdman, which pretty much revitalized his career. He's been in such films as Night Shift, Johnny Dangerously, hilarious movie, Pacific Heights, Jackie Brown, Spotlight, The Founder, The Trial of the Chicago 7, and Spider-Man Homecoming as the Vulture. Keaton is set to reprise his role as Batman in the upcoming DC films The Flash and Batgirl, both set for a fall 2022 release. So Keaton's coming back.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Are they doing like a multiverse thing like Marvel's doing now?
Funnily enough, the Flash movie this has been planned for quite some time, but Marvel got there first, and now it's going to look like DC's piggybacking off them again. But they have been planning a multiversal Flash movie. They got Michael Keaton to return. Ben Affleck is also going to be doing Batman one last time. And then Keaton is going to be their Batman going forward. He signed on for like 8 or 9 projects. So he's back for good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Very excited. He's my personal favorite live action Batman.
Oh, yeah. Do you like Ben Affleck?
I wanted to like Ben Affleck. I feel like we never got enough to like get to know him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He never really got his own movie. I feel like the writing was shit.
Oh,
but in the right hands, he could have been amazing.
I'm excited for Robert Pattinson. I wasn't at first, but then I like when he was announced, I had only ever seen Harry Potter and Twilight. But then after that, I watched The Lighthouse, Good Time, and then another movie he was in. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great.
Yeah, I was right there with you. I was like, we just had the Ben Affleck backlash. Are you really going to do this to us again? And then I watched The Lighthouse and I'm like, this guy's going to be fucking incredible.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I've got my tickets for opening night. We're doing this whole fucking Batman thing. Like, this is important to me.
Oh, yeah. And it's 3 hours long. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, my God. It's everything I want from a Batman movie. It's super long. The tone is perfect.
Yep.
All the acting's out. Like, all the casting is outside the box. The score is amazing. Oh, I can't wait. Into the rest of the cast. Oscar winner Jack Nicholson was cast as the Joker, a role he considered to be one of his all-time favorites. Nicholson has always been a huge comic book fan, and Joker was his favorite character. That's not
you don't say.
Yeah, he still negotiated the absolute shit out of his contract and scored maybe the most lucrative deal in film history for this. Not only did he get like upfront like $30 million, he got a percentage point of the gross, which added up to $60 million. And then he also managed to get a percentage of the merchandise. So he is still getting residual checks from this movie to this day for Batman merchandise.
Shit.
He could have retired in '89 and just lived off Batman shit for the rest of his life. Amazing. I think they put like they made a stipulation in contracts going forward so that shit could never happen again. So Nicholson has won 3 Oscars in his career for his performances in 1975's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1983's Terms of Endearment, and 1997's As Good as It Gets. He was also nominated for his performances in Easy Rider, 5 Easy Pieces, The Last Detail, Chinatown, Reds, Prizzi's Honor, Ironweed, A Few Good Men, and About Schmidt. He's considered one of the greatest actors of all time. He retired in 2010, and I absolutely adore this dude. He is a fucking rock star. He's like an asshole in all the best ways, and he kills it in every performance he gives, and he is one of the best guys to ever play the Joker.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, of course, because he fits that role so well. He plays like psychopath perfect. And then I want to talk about that later, like when we actually get into like talking about the Joker, because I feel like it's going to come up and just why I like Jack Nicholson more than I like Heath Ledger. But yeah, perfect.
Yeah, for sure. His skill at playing psychos is amazing. I was watching a behind the scenes thing on The Shining, and he like it was about his like process like to get psyched up to play Jack Torrance. He plays a lot of characters named Jack, by the way. I wonder if that's because he just doesn't remember his characters' names.
I could see that. It's like, no, Jack, your character's name is Harry. It's like, no, I wanted to be Jack.
Like, I respond to only one name, sweet cakes. It's Jack. I can see him saying that to somebody.
Yep.
But he was talking about his process, and I saw a shot from the movie. It was the scene where he gets locked in the pantry and he's like taunting Wendy, and he's like cackling and laughing and like freaking out. Kubrick yells cut. He immediately comes back up and is like, was that good? Like completely disappears. And he's back to Jack Nicholson. He's like, how's that? We can do another one if you want. Like just super chill guy. And I was like, how do you do that? It's amazing.
That is terrifying.
There's so many people in his head.
I wouldn't be surprised if he like met a psychiatrist, and after that meeting, the psychiatrist had to like retire He's like, no, I can't do it anymore. This is the craziest person I've ever met in my life. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'd be like, yeah, that's on par for the course.
You can tell me any story about Jack Nicholson, I will believe it.
Yes.
Like, this is a guy who I feel like has done everything. And, fuck the consequences.
Exactly. There was Jack Nicholson. He fought a polar bear barehanded. I believe it.
Yeah. That was more prep for 5 easy pieces. Oh, yeah, okay. I got you. I think it's interesting that so many actors have like had severe like mental breaks because of playing the Joker. Like, Heath Ledger had some issues with it. Joaquin Phoenix went to a dark place. And then here's Jack just being Jack. Like,
because
nothing phases
he's already a psychopath. He has nowhere to go.
Yeah, dude's already certified, so why not? It's fantastic. Oscar winner Kim Basinger was cast as Vicky Vale, fearless photographer and journalist who wants to unmask Batman. Basinger won her Oscar for her performance in 1997's L.A. Confidential. Has also appeared in such films as Never Say Never Again, 9.5 Weeks, Cool World, Wayne's World 2, and The Nice Guys. I like her character. My one real beef with the movie is how incredibly fast that love story was.
I was writing notes while watching the movie, and the first note I wrote about her character is very horny, just right out of the gate. Like, as soon as we meet her character, she's like, I like bats. Like, dude, calm down.
She and Bruce, like, they sleep together on the first date. Like, that's cool, whatever, to each their own. But like, she's clearly drunk.
Yes.
And he's not. So that hasn't aged all too well. And he's known this lady for like what, a few days, and now she's in the fucking Batcave.
Yes. And he also knows that other, I hate the other guy, Knox. I hate him so much. But like, he knows that he's interested, and he's like, oh, fuck all that.
I think it's a little fucked up that the way we are introduced to her is Knox going, hello, legs.
I know, it's awful. Oh, man. And then there's a scene where she's with Batman, not Bruce Wayne, with Batman. And then he's like, there's only one thing I want from you. And then the screen cuts to black, and then she wakes up in bed face down. Like, I forgot that he took the film from her, but I was like, holy shit, that looks really bad. Whoever edited this did that on purpose. 100%.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. That's fucked up. I really hate how she is constantly screaming. Like,
yes,
ridiculous, like over the top screaming the whole movie.
I'm watching it. Julie's listening from the other room, and all I hear is, "Who the fuck is screaming?"
That's a good question. At least in the second one, Catwoman got to be like a fully fleshed out character, not just somebody Batman had to keep saving.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Robert Wool plays Alexander Knox, maybe the most useless character in the entire Batman franchise, and I am including Robin in that sentence. He's Vale's partner. He's an office joke because he's the only person in the Gotham Gazette or whatever the fuck who believes in Batman.
Which I'm going to call bullshit on.
Yeah.
Because every criminal in the city is like, holy shit, there's a giant bat and he's hunting us down. And everyone's like, nah, you're full of shit. Are you kidding me? Every criminal is saying.
There's been like 9 attacks, a couple fucking deaths. This Batman doesn't give a shit about not killing people, which has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but it works for the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the cops know, like it's not far fetched. I mean, is it a giant bat? Probably not. But a dude in a bat costume is not that far fetched for Gotham City. Let's give Knox a break.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Robert Wool was also in Good Morning Vietnam, Bull Durham, Good Burger, and the TV series Arliss. He's also co-written material for 4 different Academy Award ceremonies. He won 2 Emmys for that, which is pretty cool. I didn't know you could win Emmys for the Oscars. Pretty cool. He also played Alexander Knox again in CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, where they had a whole bunch of DC multiverse shit pop in, and he was the representative from the Batman movies because Michael Keaton's too expensive, and nobody knows where Kim Basinger is, and Jack's retired, so Knox.
I know this is off track, but how do you feel about the CW Flash show and all their DC shows?
I was a huge fan for a while, and it just turned into the same shit every time. I just got so tired of, I'm not fast enough to beat him. Don't worry, Barry. After this pep talk in a hallway, you're going to be fine. He fights him again. I did it. Tease for the next episode. Somehow they can't defeat the big bad for 20 episodes.
Yep. Yeah. And I watched like maybe halfway through the first season just because I know this is also probably controversial, especially on a Batman episode, but I'm not a huge fan of DC. The only reason is because I feel like with superheroes, it's important to be somewhat relatable. And to be completely honest, I feel like if most DC superheroes saw someone getting beat up on the side of the street, they'll be like, fuck that, I gotta go deal with a god that's trying to blow up the galaxy. But I feel like a Marvel superhero would for sure help. But yeah, and then I saw a video of a scene from The Flash, and it was Barry Allen and Reverse Flash, and they were trying to catch a motorcycle. And this is the Flash, and they couldn't catch a motorcycle. Yeah, and I was like, wow, I'm glad I don't watch that anymore.
That tracks. The worst thing is I stuck with The Flash for about 6 seasons. And the first 3 are really good. Reverse Flash is done so well. The way they did Grodd was really cool. But eventually they all turn into CW sob stories. And I just can't do that anymore. It's pointless. And they've also kind of exhausted the Flash's rogues gallery because they've got some D-list villains going up now in their like 8th season. I stuck through all of Arrow. I gave up on the rest of them a couple years ago. If they end eventually, maybe I'll go back and just finish it off for completion's sake. But right now, I'm not in any hurry. Oscar winner Jack Palance plays crime boss Carl Grisham. Palance won his Oscar for his performance in 1991's City Slickers. He was also nominated for his performances in Sudden Fear and Shane. He was also in Young Guns, Tango and Cash, and a string of 50s and 60s Westerns. He died in 2006 at 87 years old from pancreatic cancer. And he is an overactor if there ever was one. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
You're like my number one guy. Like just
yes. Oh man.
He's ridiculous. But I guess he's got to be larger than life to have, the Joker be his enforcer.
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen City Slickers. Jack did not deserve that Oscar. That movie is fucking terrible, and he is in it for like 3 minutes. This was you're old, and we didn't give you anything in the 60s, so here's an Oscar. Yeah. But he's pretty good as Carl Grisham. The brief scenes we get with him, I believe this guy's a Gotham mob boss, and it is satisfying to see Joker shoot his ass. Character actor Pat Hingle plays Commissioner Gordon, a role he would reprise in the next 3 Batman films. Hingle was also in The Quick and the Dead, Hang 'em High, Norma Ray, Sudden Impact, Brewster's Millions, Maximum Overdrive, and Talladega Nights. Hingle died in 2009 at 84 years old from complications due to myelodysplasia. And I don't know, no disrespect, he is the worst Commissioner Gordon we've ever had.
Oh, yes. I don't think there could be a better Commissioner Gordon than Gary Oldman. I think he's perfect as Commissioner Gordon, honestly.
He's perfect. Jeffrey Wright might surpass him, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's true. I forgot that he was playing. I love Jeffrey Wright. Again, I feel like that's another, I don't want to say perfect casting yet, but Jeffrey Wright always plays the smart, like genius characters. Like his character in Westworld was great, but he was in Hunger Games Part 2. he plays like this smart person so well. So I don't know. I'm excited.
He's my favorite Felix Leiter in the Daniel Craig Bond films. He, kind of James Bond CIA equivalent. And they had great chemistry. I think Jeffrey Wright's a cool guy and a good outside the box casting for Gordon. But these movies do nothing with Gordon. He's just there to explain, like, this is the crime that I failed to stop. Batman, what can you do?
Yeah, but from what I've said this, I haven't read a lot of the Batman comic books, but Commissioner Gordon is a huge part of Batman's story, like especially with his daughter becoming like Batman's, to quote Spider-Man Homecoming, she becomes Batman's guy in the chair. Like at least in the game she is. But yeah, Commissioner Gordon is a huge part of Batman.
Yeah. Barbara Gordon's a character we've never gotten to see on the big screen. We saw Barbara Wilson in Batman and Robin, and I don't know what the fuck that was all about. But yeah, to see, her become Batgirl and then see Batgirl get shot and then become Oracle. Like, I want to see that story done.
Yeah, I do too. I know everyone is, but I'm done with the whole Batman origin story. I want to see like other characters' origin stories. Like hers is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Well, we are getting a Batgirl movie later on this year from HBO Max.
I did not know that.
So maybe that's where we'll get this. Or it might be Barbara Gordon. It might go in a different direction. We have yet to really get any information about that, apart from the fact that Brendan Fraser is playing the bad guy.
What?
Yeah. He's Firefly, who's like a crazy serial arsonist. So this ought to be pretty cool.
That's very cool. He hasn't been in, I know he's in Doom Patrol, but he hasn't been in a lot of stuff for a long time. Because didn't he have a whole like, he had a whole thing, didn't he? Like allegations or something. I don't know.
Here, yeah, I'll lay that out because I want this to be on record on this podcast. I know we talked about that on Sneak Preview, but here I don't think we brought this up. Brendan Fraser, he went through a messy divorce and also was groped by a producer who tried to blackmail Brendan Fraser into sleeping with him. He said no. His career tanked pretty soon after that.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he's been met with a lot of dark shit that he's had to overcome. And it's only been in the past 3 or 4 years that he's been getting like high profile roles again. He got a role in a Steven Soderbergh movie that came out last year. He's working with Scorsese now for his next movie. And the Batgirl thing was big for him. And he found out like he's got such hardcore legions of fans who want to see him succeed. And he's in a good place now. So yeah, Brendan Fraser's a rock star, nothing but respect for the man. And I'm glad he's on his way back on top.
Yeah, for sure. And in a Scorsese film, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon. He's working with DiCaprio, De Niro, a couple other big names. Like, this is going to be big for him.
Yeah. Sorry to keep going off track, but I know this is, everyone either hates him or loves him, but Leonardo DiCaprio, I fucking love that guy. I don't know why he won an Oscar for a role that he didn't even he had like a couple lines and he won an Oscar for that.
Leo is a vegan who ate a fucking real horse heart for an Oscar. Good for you, Leo. I have nothing but respect for DiCaprio. He was he was considered to play Robin at some point. I know that. He turned down the role of Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars prequels to do The Beach for Danny Boyle, which was a fucking terrible idea. But yeah, I think Leo's terrific. And yeah, I don't know what he's got going on next. I guess it's that Scorsese film that's next. So, All right, I can wait. Billy D. Williams is Harvey Dent, district attorney, and he was supposed to transform to Two-Face down the road, but it never happened. Billy D signed on for this, hoping in a couple movies he'd get to be Two-Face. And that was supposed to happen in the third movie. And then when Burton left production, they kicked Billy D out, brought in Tommy Lee Jones, and we all know what happened next.
Yep.
Williams is mostly known for his role as rebellion leader Lando Calrissian in the Star Wars franchise. But he was also in Lady Sings the Blues, Nighthawks, Undercover Brother, and the Lego Batman movie as the voice of Two-Face. Pretty cool that they did that.
Hey, that is pretty cool. Okay. I like that.
Yeah, good for him. And they did release a comic book series, I think started last year, where they continued the story of Tim Burton's Batman universe in the comics. So in that version, Billy D. Williams is Two-Face.
That's pretty cool. And I saw that. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw like an ad and I was like, holy shit, that's so cool, because Tim Burton's Batman universe is, again, one of my favorites because it fits so well, I feel like.
I think a lot of that comes from the production design. You're not quite sure when this takes place. Is it 1940 or is it 1980? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, this Gotham City I love because the way it's built is perfect for Batman. Like the skyscrapers have like skywalks going across them. There's like always construction going on. It is perfect for Batman. Steams everywhere.
Makes way more sense than Joel Schumacher's random like 900-foot Adonis statues just placed every 10 feet. Finally, character actor Michael Gough plays Alfred, a role he would reprise in the next 3 Batman movies. Him and Hingle are the only 2 mainstays in the first 4 Batman films. I guess they needed the work. Gough was also in Top Secret, Horror of Dracula, The Boys from Brazil, Out of Africa, The Serpent and the Rainbow, The Age of Innocence, and Sleepy Hollow. He died in 2011 at 94 years old from a mixture of pneumonia and prostate cancer. That can't have been fun.
No.
And
they don't go well together.
No, they do not. He's a good Alfred, though. I like his random bits of wisdom he throws out whenever Batman's feeling insecure or a little crazy.
Yes. Yep. I always, me and you talked about this when we watched Batman Forever, but I love that scene where he's like, "Shall I heat the soup up for you, sir?" He's like, I'll get drive-through. So Michael Caine and this Alfred, I feel like they both play different sides of Alfred. I like how this one, he's Bruce Wayne's dad, and Michael Caine is Batman's dad, is I feel like how I see it.
That's great. I love that. That's very true. That's neat. I really like that. I'm excited to see Andy Serkis play Alfred. Andy Serkis is a fantastic actor, and he has never gotten his props. He's been in so many things. I love his work as Gollum in Lord of the Rings alone. I mean, transformed the very concept of visual effects work and what we can do with that. So he's a pioneer, and I never would have thought like Alfred, but like seeing like the bits from the trailer, I'm like, of course, this makes perfect sense.
100%. Yeah. And just like you said, of like visuals in movies, Smeagol looks like Andy Serkis.
Yeah. Those movies are 20 years old this year. Oh my God. And it looks seamless. It does. They have not aged in the slightest.
They haven't. And then people who say that the Hobbit movies are better than Lord of the Rings, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, just the makeup of the orcs, like it's actual makeup and CGI. And I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, this is better because it's like practical effects. But I feel like with makeup, it makes a huge difference, especially with nasty orcs when like their skin is peeling off. Sorry, I'm not talking about Batman. I keep getting off track. I'm sorry.
This is what we do. Yeah, I think the orcs in Lord of the Rings, like the fact that it's real people with real makeup, like you believe that this is an army that's here to kill. With the Hobbit, like they don't look real. They look too clean. They look too pristine. Yeah. It's like nobody cares. Like this was made for money. Lord of the Rings was made like for a different reason. You can feel 100%. Andy Serkis is at the core of one of the freakiest movie scenes I've ever seen in my life. 2005's King Kong. Peter Jackson did King Kong in 2005, and it's like 3 hours and 20 minutes long. It's not great, but there's a scene where the characters fall down a little canyon and they end up surrounded by giant ass bugs. And Andy Serkis gets eaten by a bunch of slug things that fucking devour his head. And I saw that movie when I was 10, and I was like, oh my God, because I did not expect that.
Oh, man. I like that King Kong movie though. I don't know why, but Jack Black every time he's in a movie, he surprises me. Like he has good range, surprisingly.
He does. It has been so long since I saw King Kong. I think I'm just intimidated because it is like super long, and I'm just like, do I have the time or the patience to watch a monkey for that long?
Yeah, I watched it a couple months ago, and I don't know, I wasn't bored. I was like, this movie's pretty good.
I think if I just put it on the show, there's my excuse. Honestly, I don't give a shit what it is. If it's for the show, I'll do the due diligence.
There you go.
So, despite fan apprehension at Michael Keaton's casting, a fairly inexperienced director in Tim Burton, and a complete tonal shift in what people were used to with Batman, the film was an enormous hit. It was the second highest grossing film of 1989 behind Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It has an IMDb score of 7.5, Rotten Tomatoes score of 72%. It grossed $411 million on a budget of only $35 million, and that was in the 80s when $400 million was a lot of money. Nowadays, that's considered a brutal failure for a superhero movie.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Eternals. It won an Oscar for Best Art Direction and set the gold standard for superhero movies going forward. It had one sequel in 92 and a full series reboot in 95. So with that, let's discuss the film itself. So beginning with, we got Danny Elfman's theme.
So, first of all, perfect. I love how they used that soundtrack in the Lego Batman games because, again, like the Lego Batman games, they get their aesthetic and vibe from these movies.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I feel like every DC movie should follow this weird sort of Burton-esque vibe because it fits so well with all the characters. I mean, it is I'm going to be honest, Batman is essentially a furry fighting a mentally deranged clown. That's what it is. And like you can make Batman as dark and gritty as you want, but I feel like it should always have a slight bit of campiness to it because it just fits so well. I mean, Joker fell in a vat of acid. That is such a Batman thing. Yeah.
I feel like if I tried to write something like that, I'd have somebody say like, that's nonsensical. Like, what? Acid? Are you kidding me? Try something else.
Yeah.
But it works for this because you're just like, okay, Batman dropped Jack Nicholson in a vat of acid. He comes back a little happier. I'll take it.
Exactly. And Danny Elfman's music just fits the vibe perfectly. And Prince, the audacity to make a song titled Bat Dance and have it in a Batman movie. Are you kidding me? Beautiful.
The very idea that they felt they needed to have a soundtrack by Prince, like that feels like a full-blown producer interference moment. Like, yeah, it's going great, Tim, but have you considered a pop soundtrack? George Michael and Michael Jackson both said no, but I can get you Prince. And by that, I mean, we're getting you Prince.
Yes. I could see Tim Burton be like, I don't know if I like that. It's like, oh no, there's no discussion. It's happening.
Tim Burton was such a novice. Like, this was only his third movie. So many decisions were made behind his back. Like, the producers are constantly just telling Tim, like, oh yeah, this is happening next week, so prepare for that. I can't imagine that lack of control. I mean, that's just gotta suck. Probably why he was like, I'm not doing a third movie. Fuck off. I'm not dealing with you people anymore.
Yeah.
I happen to like Prince's soundtrack. I think, there's moments in this film like the Party Man scene where Joker just trashes the museum. It's classic.
Yeah. And again, when we start talking about Joker, I'm gonna touch on that scene. But yeah, Prince soundtrack. I feel like now whenever like a celebrity tries to make a soundtrack or a song for a movie, I always feel like that they're trying to replicate this. But again, it fits with the vibe. Prince is weird in a good way, and he fits Batman so perfectly.
It's one of those lightning in a bottle moments that sounds like an absolute shit idea when you pitch it, but it works. I cannot tell you why it works, but it does.
Exactly.
Sometimes the producers, as full of shit as they are onto something.
Yeah.
You know, broken clocks right twice a day. I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
David Bowie making the soundtrack for Labyrinth and Prince. I want to know what it would be like if either David Bowie or Prince played the Joker, but unfortunately, it'll never happen.
I remember reading, I think David Bowie was considered. Like they were
Really?
thinking about it. Yeah, I'd watch that. I know that a big name that nearly got there was Tim Curry.
Oh my, that would have been pretty cool. I feel like it would have almost hit the mark where Jack Nicholson got, but he's weird. Tim Curry's weird. He's weird, man. I feel like the best way I can describe Tim Curry is uncomfortable. Even when he played Pennywise, like it's not scary, it's just uncomfortable.
I got two good Tim Curry stories. First one, he is pathologically afraid of clowns.
What?
And when he was playing Pennywise, his one request was that there are no mirrors in the makeup trailer and around him so he wouldn't accidentally see what he looks like. Because as somebody who's afraid of clowns, to look into a mirror and see that you are a clown, that's got to break you mentally.
Oh, man. That's great.
My other one is that he was very nearly the Joker in the animated series they did in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
He got so close. He recorded some stuff, and the producers had to let him go because they said, like, dude, you are too scary. You're going to freak out these kids. Your Joker is too hardcore for this kind of show. We got to go in a different direction.
And they chose Mark Hamill, which I think, I don't want to say like as a performance is probably on the same level as Jack Nicholson, because that voice is so iconic and so, again, uncomfortable to listen to.
I'll say it here. The best Batman in all of media is Kevin Conroy, and the best Joker in all of media is Mark Hamill.
Yes.
When I think of those characters, those are the voices that I think of first.
Exactly. I don't think they could play their characters in live action, but voice work, beautiful. Just so good. So good.
They both kind of have played him in live action in the CW stuff. So they did that Crisis on Infinite Earths thing a couple years ago. They went to a universe where Kevin Conroy was an older Bruce Wayne who had lost his fucking mind, killed Superman, I think, and was just like nuts. And I was like, you got Kevin Conroy to play Batman in live action, and this is what you did with it, you idiots.
Oh, no.
And then Mark Hamill has been playing the Trickster on The Flash, which is basically a Joker knockoff without paint. He's got the same voice. It's the same character.
That's beautiful. I love that.
The Trickster. There's like the gamester. There's the prankster. Like DC just keeps fucking recycling. It's crazy.
There's a ABC Family. No, is it ABC Family? I don't know. It's one of those fucking channels. They have a sitcom that my mom loves called I think it's called American Housewife, and Kevin Conroy plays the dad, and anytime he speaks, it is fucking awesome because he says like stuff that every dad says, but it's Batman, and it's just beautiful. He's like, I'll pick up the kids from school. I'm like, fuck yeah, you will, Batman. Hell yeah.
God, he can never do anything else without
No.
Batman. It's just such an iconic voice. And he's not even putting any like, oomph on it. That's just him.
It's just his voice. One of my favorite movies of all time, Napoleon Dynamite. He plays Rex. Perfect. You're going to get boxing lessons from Bruce Wayne immediately. Yeah, sign me up.
I also love how Elfman's music became the music for the cartoon show. Like that's become like the official Batman music to a lot of people.
Did Tim Burton have anything to do with that? Because I know, because Danny Elfman has made music for Tim Burton's movies before, right?
Almost everything. They've worked together for almost everything. There's a couple projects they didn't do together, but most of Burton's films have been scored by Elfman. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was, just Burton bringing in his guy.
Yeah.
But his guy is a fucking genius.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Yes, they do. So we meet Batman when he's fucking up some criminals after they're like, there's no bat. What are you talking about? And The line that Keaton, says the iconic "I'm Batman," that wasn't supposed to be the line. He was supposed to say, "I am the Knight." And Keaton was like, "That's bullshit. I'm Batman. I'm going to say so."
As much as I like Michael Keaton as Batman, but when he in that scene, he does the whole fucking cape thing like 4 times for no other reason than to be like, I'm scary. It's beautiful.
I agree with you. I love when he does it the first time and they just fucking shoot him.
Yeah.
And he just goes down. I'm like, well, they're not afraid of you anymore. Yeah, but the "I'm Batman," I feel like him saying that started a trend because every Batman actor after him has their "I'm Batman" moment.
Yep.
And personally, I think Christian Bale had the best one.
Oh yeah.
Just
in the
dragging
trailer,
Falcone out of a car, be like, "I'm Batman," and then headbutting his ass.
Yes, so good. So good.
Clooney had the worst one.
Oh yeah.
"Hi, you freeze. I'm Batman." Like, he didn't give a fuck. He was already like, "I'm Batman in a terrible costume and I'm standing on a dinosaur. This thing has already gone off the rails."
Yep. Exactly. So, speaking of George Clooney's Batman, so last time I was on the show, I made the stupid statement of saying I don't think there's such thing as a bad movie. I'm going to correct that for a second. There are so many bad movies out there, but I don't think there's a movie where I will be in the middle of the movie and be like, "No, I can't do this," and shut it off. Because even if the movie is terrible, I will always enjoy it and I will continue watching it. Even George Clooney's Batman, because it's a horrible movie, but it's so fun. You can't stop watching it once it's done.
It's like a train wreck. You can't stop watching it. It's too enjoyable. Well, not enjoyable, but like entertaining. I get it. I love watching Arnold Schwarzenegger walk around with a fucking frozen cigar. I'll never get over that. That's the funniest shit I've ever seen. In bunny slippers and a frozen cigar.
Yes.
He's a man who's getting paid. But yeah, back when my buddy Caleb and I first started Filmgazm.com, we started as a movie review website. We were like, let's review movies. We disagree with Rotten Tomatoes quite often. What I think is a bad movie, other people might not think is a bad movie. So let's do this right. And we made a pact that no matter how shitty a movie is, we got to finish it. Got to see it through. And I found out he broke that pact fucking 100 times. So I was like, all right, I'm not doing it anymore. So that died, but I still try to maintain that. I've only shut off a couple movies in the past few years. One of which might win Best Picture this year. So fuck.
What movie?
The Power of the Dog.
I haven't seen it.
I watched 40 minutes of it. I'm like, this is boring as fuck. I've got better things to do. But now that it's up for Oscars, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and sit through this thing.
Have you ever seen Dougal?
I have not, but after you talked about it, I put it in our list of potentials for Beyond the Bad.
It is the worst movie I've ever seen.
It looked really bad.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Thank you for the content. And yes, you should apologize for bringing that movie into my life. So Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent is an interesting choice. And it is a shame we never get to see his story get fully realized. But with that in mind, why is he here? If you're not going to have Two-Face or even put him in the sequel, like Harvey Dent's just kind of a shadow that never really comes to fruition here.
Yeah, because Harvey Dent, like we were saying with Commissioner Gordon, he's such a big character, but Harvey Dent's only importance is that he becomes Two-Face.
Pretty much. I mean, even as District Attorney, like in The Dark Knight, we see him work with Batman to become, be Gotham's White Knight. In this one, he just seems like another corrupt politician who doesn't really give a shit about Gotham City.
Yep, exactly. Like, I love this scene where there is a clown saying, "Hey, I poisoned makeup," and they're like, "No, we're gonna have the festival still. Yeah, we're gonna do it no matter what." I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Dude, the scene when Jack just shows up and kills the guy with the pen and nobody fucking jumps on him. None of the cops arrest anybody. They just watch.
Which that scene, I was taken aback because he straight up just throws a pen in this dude's neck and the guy immediately dies.
Maybe he was poisoned or something. I think it's funny that like a bunch of mimes are slowly circling this group of people, and nobody's like, why there's so many mimes? Like Joker hasn't been active that long. Seeing a bunch of clowns around is not a common occurrence yet.
So I was when I was just watching it, I have a peanut butter brain, and for some reason I thought that was the festival that they were talking about. I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, Mime Fest '89. You didn't get the memo? I do love how the mayor is so determined. He's like, there's a gang war happening. Jack Napier's alive and crazier. They're poisoning people, but we got to have this goddamn festival.
Yep.
And even then, Joker hijacks the festival. I love that. Like, he even takes that away from the mayor.
Yep.
Beautiful. I love Jack's introduction of just this guy in a purple suit who's fucking with a deck of cards. It's like, gee, I wonder who he's going to become.
Oh, yeah.
And just, it's never a good idea to sleep with the boss's wife. It's a terrible, especially if you're in the mob.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you think Jack would know better. And Grisham's like, you know what, Jack, I'm going to get you for that, Jack. Like, just, yeah, the whole opening, like with, seeing Jack as a gangster and also getting a backstory for the Joker, which is like the first time we ever got that. Yeah. And it works out. Like, I'd buy this. That's a good origin story for the Joker. If you're going to do it this way.
The only thing I don't like about it is that I don't like the whole Joker killed Batman's parents.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's muggy and distracts from the origin. Yeah, because like the whole point is, Joe Chill was just some asshole. Like there is no revenge to get. Batman's acts, the death of his parents was just another random violent crime. So all crime is Batman's revenge. Being Batman is the ongoing revenge. But if he gets if he puts a name to that face and gets him, there's no reason for him to keep being Batman.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also, like, why connect them like that? They already have the connection. You don't need that. It's overkill.
Exactly. And then I don't want to sound like one of the again, because I don't read the comics, so I don't know the characters as deeply as other people do. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne and the Joker should have no connection whatsoever. It's Batman and the Joker, because even even Bruce Wayne, he completely separate people. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the comics, I'm sure Bruce Wayne and the Joker have interacted. I think Joker just sees him as like some rich boy asshole who's not going to do anything.
Oh yeah.
But I was watching Harley Quinn, the cartoon on HBO Max, which is hilarious, hysterical.
Yes.
I love. Have you watched all of it?
Yeah.
All right. I love when Joker finds out that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and he's like, "This is what, like, you're a billionaire, and this is what you're choosing to do with it."
Yep.
Like, why not find some social programs, Bruce? Like, just going full on. Like, I love that.
My favorite scene in that entire show is when Joker is building. I think it's like in the first episode, he's building his base, and he gets a call from like his lawyer. Which the fact that Joker has a lawyer is fucking hilarious. But he gets a call. He's like, "What? What do you mean I need a permit? It's an abandoned amusement park at the end of a pier." I was like, yeah.
I love that Joker, like when he got sane and he like married that like single mom. Yep. And then when he gets Joker to fight again, he's like, I feel like I missed out on something. Like I got to go back. Yes. Like he found love in the crazy place. And even the mom was like, "I don't care that you're the Joker. You're a good father."
Exactly. And then also in Batman the Animated Series, again, Joker gets a call from, I believe, his lawyer, and I don't remember what happens, but something with his money, and someone's like, "I'm sorry, you, the Joker, you file your taxes?" And the Joker's like, "Yeah, you don't fuck with the IRS." I was like, oh my god, it's beautiful.
There was a crossover comic panel with Marvel where like Batman and Captain America were fighting like Joker and the Red Skull, and Joker found out Red Skull was a Nazi, and he's like, "You son of a bitch. Like, I may be crazy, but I'm an American psychopath, you Nazi bastard."
Oh, that's awesome. I want with the whole Moon Knight and Dracula owing him money, I want Moon Knight, Dracula, Joker, and Red Skull all to be in the same room together just to see what happens.
There's an episode of Batman the Animated Series that had me laughing so hard because it follows a guy who cuts the Joker off in traffic. Like this guy just driving behind some like circus car or something. He goes around, he's like honk honk, like what's wrong with you? Why are you going so slow, you crazy bastard? And he looks in the rear view and it's the Joker, and he's like, oh no, no. He keeps trying to lose him, and Joker just smiling at him, following him the whole fucking way through Gotham City.
At that point, just get out of your car, walk over to the door, and just imagine like Joker, just supervillains acting like normal people is hilarious. Just imagine in the grocery store, you bump into the Joker. Fuck. I guess I'm gonna die.
I feel like if you live in Gotham City, like maybe don't go into the bank.
No.
Don't go to the circus.
No.
Stay away from these hotbeds and you'll be fine.
They have to have like superhero insurance in these universes.
That's why Joker has a lawyer. He's making fucking bank.
Yes.
The Joker's always in legal problems. He's probably his best customer, his best client.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, all right. So
sorry.
That was fun. So as we meet, Jack, he's like, Gershom betrayed me. What a shock. And at Axis Chemicals, which it always bothers because it's Ace Chemicals in the comic. It's like, why do that?
I was gonna say that like it's Ace Chemicals, Acme Chemicals, Axis. It always starts with an A. I've realized. Yeah.
I love how vague it is. Just chemicals. Like what do you make? Chemicals and chemicals. Like what more do you need?
Imagine
if vats of acid lying around and like.
Oh man.
God. So Jack gets like a batarang in the face or something. That scene's always been kind of vague to me. Like, did he get like steam in his face or a batarang in his face and then he falls over the edge?
Yeah, I rewound that scene a couple times and I still don't know.
And I guess the acid healed that wound because he doesn't have that going forward.
Well, because the plastic surgeon, he said,
oh yeah, that's right.
He said, let's see what we have to work with, and looked in the mirror, and then that's when Jack started to like laugh. And he was like, I'm sorry, sir, the nerves were severed, which this is the first time I've noticed that scene. I thought that he got that fucked up face because of the acid, but no, it's because Batman did that, and then the plastic surgeon tried to fix him. The acid just bleached his skin, dyed his hair green, colored his lips red. Makes no sense, but whatever. And made him crazier than he already was.
You know what? I never made that connection. That makes perfect sense to me. So that plastic surgeon fucked up his brain. I love that. I also think it's funny that the acid did nothing to his eyes or mouth. Like his tongue's fine, his eyes are fine. Like that's a very specific acid.
Oh, it bleached his skin but turned his hair green. Doesn't make any sense. You would think it would just bleach everything.
You'd think that. I love that the tools that the surgeon uses are the actual props from Little Shop of Horrors that Steve Martin's dentist has. It's the same props.
Oh, I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see that weird like tongue spreader thing that he tries to steal.
He's like, sorry, sir, this is what I have to work with. First of all, where are you? Who are you?
You telling me the mob doesn't have an on-call doctor? Like,
yeah, I know.
This is Jack Napier, like Carl Gersom's number one guy. Like you got nothing? You're going to back alley surgeons?
Have you seen Happy?
I have not.
It's based on a comic. Okay. Well, in that the mob has surgeons. They like own a wing of a hospital, obviously on the down low, but that's where they like send people when they get fucked up. And I don't know. So maybe that's their on-call guy.
They've got like Gordon's lieutenant on the payroll, but no doctors.
You know who else they have on the payroll?
Who?
Costume designers, mechanics.
Yeah, somebody had to torque out these purple and green cars
Yep. Which again, I know that we talked about it when we watched Batman Forever, but again, this Joker would do that 100%. Because again, as I was watching the movie, I always try to think of myself as I try to think I'm smarter than I am when I watch movies. So I was trying to find a deeper meaning behind this Joker. And I think that's something I like about this Joker is I don't think he had a goal other than to be crazy. He said, I want my face on the $1 bill. He wanted recognition, which is beautiful, which makes a scene in the museum just that much better. He literally went in there just to fuck up art. That's it.
I 100% believe that this entire movie is watching this Joker like try things, like find his groove. Like, is it art? Is it chemical poison? Is it brand recognition? Am I a philanthropist? Am I a gangster? Exactly. What am I?
Yeah, I like that. It's the Joker's origin story. Literally, he's trying to figure out what he does.
Yeah, and before he can find it, Batman hurls him off a fucking roof.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like,
I love that he's already got a brand. He's got the Joker face on his like helicopter.
Yep, exactly. He looked at himself in the mirror, saw that smile, and he was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'm going with it."
I wonder how many times, like, first off, before he went to kill Grisham, he had to go find a purple suit. Like, he had to go get that tailor made. So,
no, he was already in a purple suit when he fell in the acid.
Okay, so he had to get it dry cleaned.
He had to get it cleaned.
I wonder if he practiced that speech to Grisham
in front of the mirror.
Yeah, like Jack is dead. Jack is dead. Like just trying out different inflections.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the jester. No.
Clown man. I'm thinking of Jim Carrey like trying names when he's trying to be the Riddler in Batman Forever. Captain Kill.
Yeah,
just
he was doing he was probably watching Taxi Driver and was like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna practice in front of a mirror.
You talking to me, Jack? You talking to me? Joker. There we go. I can work with that. All right, let's do this. But that scene where he shows up and is like, you can call me Joker. And as you can see, I'm a little happier. I was like, then like the orchestra comes up and he shoots Grisham.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a great reveal. Yeah. Where do you want to go from there?
From there? Oh man, I don't know. Honestly,
there's not a lot of Batman in this movie.
No.
Then again, that's kind of par for the course for the Batman franchise. We get very little Batman in all of these movies.
Yeah, we do. You want to talk about Bruce Wayne and Vicky Vale?
Why not? First off, the fact that like she's new in town. She already has a date with the town's reclusive billionaire. Yep. Good get, Vicky. Good one.
Yep. Which again, I hate Knox, but he was trying to ask you out when you first met. And then the next day he's like, hey, how about we go this day? And she's like, nope, have a date with Bruce Wayne. Are you fucking kidding me? You met him yesterday.
To be fair, she also met Knox yesterday.
That is true. That's fair. But Knox got there first.
I feel like if you're a girl and you've got two guys interested in you who look fairly similar, very similar hair, and one of them is a fucking billionaire. I mean, I don't have to flip that coin.
No.
And Knox is obnoxious, and I feel like he would split the bill.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he's an asshole. I hate him so much. I do love the scene where Vicky, Knox, and Bruce meet each other. I love that scene so much when they're talking shit and he's behind him. He's like, oh, it's Japanese. Such a good scene.
How do you know that? Because I got it in Japan. Hi, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Give Knox a grant. I always like that line.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. I like how Vicky humbled Bruce when she first saw him. She's like, hey, which one of these guys is Bruce Wayne? He's like, excuse me?
I'm not sure. But thanks anyway.
Yeah. And then Alfred's walking around picking up all the fucking cups.
Bruce is just sticking like corks and shit into his own plants. And Alfred's like, gotta keep things tidy. Yeah. All right. So let's go to all right. So they have the date, which is hilarious. They're on opposite ends of this giant ass table, just drinking soup. Like, oh god. I love his like, I don't know if I've ever been in this room, like kind of thing. I thought that was cute.
I like that, yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's like that scene in Incredibles when they're on the opposite ends of the table. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there was some influence there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, he must have been charming as shit to go from that awkwardness to literally sleeping with her. Like, well done, or you've got really strong champagne.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
I was reading into that scene where she wakes up and he's like upside down on that lumbar thing, like a bat. And at first I'm like, oh, he's fucking crazy too. He thinks he's a bat. But no, apparently that is for his back pain because being Batman hurts your back quite a lot. So that's like helping him ease his spine. Like, I buy that.
I'm sure. Yeah. I like how that's something I like about, I think every Batman movie does that. And I think he's the only superhero movie that the Batman movies are the only ones I've seen where like they hurt themselves. Like, I mean, that's not true. A lot of superheroes hurt themselves, but like in Christopher Nolan's trilogy, like Batman drinks that green shit and he's like cleaning up his wounds and he's like, oh, my back fucking hurts. In fact, that was like a huge story part in what was it? The Dark Knight Rises, when Bane breaks his back and he has to like go to physical therapy.
I do love that physical therapy was like a blind guy in a cave, literally smacking his back into place and then just doing some push-ups.
Yep.
But yeah, Batman's always been, he can't fly. He's not invincible. He's not a god. He's not an alien. He's just a rich guy in a bat suit doing his best.
And that is, I think, the only relatable thing about Batman is that he gives the shit kicked out of him. And that's also why I like Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is my all-time favorite superhero because he gets shit on. But he's still a superhero. He has superpowers. Yeah. Batman is just would you consider him self-taught, self-built? Because I don't really, because he buys he doesn't make any of his gadgets or like vehicles. He buys them.
The only thing Bruce Wayne has sculpted himself is that 8-pack. Everything else is an inheritance from the Wayne fortune, a very brilliant tech guy in Lucius, and a pretty damn good tailor in Alfred. So exactly. Yeah, I think he's got his team.
Yeah. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's why when people say, oh, Iron Man is Marvel's Batman. No, because Iron Man is completely literally self-built. He built Iron Man in a cave with a box of scraps.
I remember seeing a meme a few years ago. It was back when, before Disney had bought Fox and gotten everything back. It was like, Marvel built this in a cave with a box of scraps. Like they didn't have the X-Men or the Fantastic Four or Spider-Man. They did this with their D-list characters. It's like, how could you not replicate this? Brilliant. But I love Batman's my favorite superhero because he is just a guy. Ultimately, you strip it all away. He's a very intelligent guy, and yet he still fucks up the Justice League himself. Like there's a comic line, they made a movie out of it called Justice League Doom, where just in case they ever went rogue, Batman has a contingency plan to take out every single member of the Justice League. In this movie, the bad guys get a hold of it and they completely kill the Justice League, like destroy them. And they all make it, but like they no longer trust Batman because he's like, no, I'm not sorry. Like I did, I'm Batman. What do you expect? But like that shit's awesome. So he's my favorite.
Yeah.
And him and Joker's first meeting officially, I mean, him and Jack met and Batman fucked him up.
Yep.
When Joker and Batman meet, it's at the museum. And Joker's kind of like, oh my God.
Yep.
Like, I think I love this man.
Yes. Yep. Which again, Batman and Joker's relationship is It always has been something special. I don't think there is a single superhero villain combo that is this. I don't want to say intimate because it feels gross to say, but it's intimate, man. Like I feel like, and I know that there's other people out there that have the same feeling, that the Joker will continue to do what he does because he wants Batman to get involved, and the Batman won't kill Joker because he they need each other.
Yeah, it's this weird, sick, twisted, symbiotic relationship that they're both aware of, but refuse to. Well, Batman refuses to ever admit to it, but everyone knows it. And yeah, I love those stories. There's certain comic stories where like Joker does convince him to give in, and he like fucking kills him. But there's always consequences.
Yep.
Like there's a story called The Batman Who Laughs. That is the most fucked up shit I've ever heard of. You know about that one?
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. They'll never make that movie.
No, they should. Wes Craven. There we go.
That would have been beautiful. Goddamn. My favorite like multiversal Batman thing is in the Flashpoint story where
it's his dad.
Yeah, where like Bruce Wayne died and Thomas Wayne became Batman and Martha Wayne became the Joker.
Yep.
Like that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But yeah, I love their relationship. And this one, I think I could have used a few more scenes with Batman and Joker together. I feel like we don't get a lot of interaction between them.
Yeah.
I feel like most of it is Batman and Vicky.
Yep. This is a romance movie. It's not a superhero movie. It's a cheesy 80s romance movie.
Yeah, you know what? I buy that. I love that Joker, in order to like convince the mob, has like flesh paint over his makeup, over his bleached skin, and he still looks fucking crazy with the big grin.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they even say, they're like, what's with the grin? He's like, I'm just in a good mood.
Life's been good to me.
Yeah, life's been good to me. No, it hasn't, Jack. Look at you. Look where you are.
Oh boy.
Going back to the relationship, they even mention it in this movie. Batman, no, because Joker says, you made me. And then Batman's like, you killed my parents. You made me. Yeah. Which, man. And then that even happens in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. The whole, I thought of a joke. What is it? You wouldn't get it. You know, the fucking meme that it is now. But that's just such a good, it's just so cool because I don't like Bruce Wayne having any involvement with, that's why I don't like it that he killed his parents. But the fact that they literally created each other and they need each other, it's just so unique.
Yeah. Well, I like that, you know, Bruce Wayne should be just a mask. Like they're technically speaking, Bruce Wayne does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a comic I've read where Superman and Batman both get like wrapped up by Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. And she asks their names and Superman says Clark Kent and Batman says Batman.
Yeah.
Like, Bruce Wayne should be a mask, you know, what he wears in public, what he wears during the day to distract people from the fact that there's no way this rich prick could ever be Batman.
Yep.
Like there's a great scene in Batman Returns when Max Schreck is holding the Masquerade ball.
Yes.
I love how fucking extra Max Schreck is, by the way.
Yeah.
And everyone there's wearing a mask except for Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle, because that is the mask.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think they even did that in the Christopher Nolan series as well. I think they did the same thing.
Yeah, there's a ball in the Dark Knight Rises, and Bruce Wayne shows up without a costume because Bruce Wayne is the costume.
Yeah,
love that.
Which I mean, you know, Bill in Kill Bill says it. He's talking about Superman, but he says it the best. You know, he's like, you know, Superman's secret identity. No. Clark Kent's secret identity is Superman. Clark Kent is the mask.
Yeah. I think that metaphor applies better to Batman, personally.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, for sure.
I get what he's trying to say. I do love Kill Bill. That's one I cannot wait to do on this show one day.
No, yeah. You've never done it?
We have never done any Tarantino on this podcast. We did Pulp Fiction on Oscar Sunday, but that's all we've ever done.
I think I go back and forth again every time I see a Tarantino movie. I'm like, this one's the best. This one's the best. This one's the best. But I think honestly, Inglourious Bastards is one of my favorites, just because most of the movie is in another language.
Well, I love that Tarantino just let these guys speak their native languages. Like if it takes place in France, they're going to speak French. If it takes place in Germany, they're going to speak German. Like that's just how the world works. And
exactly.
Yeah, Bastards is the one I go to as my favorite most frequently as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Beautiful.
I don't know what it is about that scene with I always forget his name. The Nazi, the main guy.
Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, Christoph Waltz. The scene when they're in the restaurant and he's talking to Shoshona.
Oh.
Man, that scene is just so intense. And they're not doing anything. It's only intense because of the situation that they're in. It's, I don't know.
Every time I watch that scene, I think differently. I'm like, oh, he knows exactly who she is.
Oh yeah.
And I'll watch it and I'll be like, he has no idea who she is. Mm-hmm. And she's going to give it away. It's like, I flip-flop every single time. It's a different experience every time you watch the movie.
The only reason I think that he doesn't know who she is because at the end of the movie, it kind of portrays his character as a fucking idiot. Like right before he dies, he's scared. He's like, oh, fuck. All right, I guess this is it. I don't know. It kind of portrayed him as an idiot. I mean, he's good at his job, but he's not all that bright.
I think what it was is that he was so wrapped up in the fact that he had won. He was so convinced he'd won. As far as he was concerned, it was over. Like there was nothing left to do. There's nothing like, Aldo wouldn't try anything because it would mean he's a dead man. But he underestimated Aldo's hatred of Nazis.
Yep.
That's what it was. This man does not give a fuck what happens to his political career or his military career. He's going to scalp your ass.
Which, by the way, pretty sure that's a war crime. But
he's 100%.
I say this every time we watch a horror movie or a war movie or even a superhero movie. I want a movie, either one, about the background characters, or two, the next day. Especially in horror movies. The next day, like someone is like, oh, thank God I survived. You're covered in blood, running away from a burning house. You're going to jail.
That would be a great idea for a horror movie. Just the next day. Like you don't even see what happened the first time. You just see the aftermath.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
And just like the character going through, like, which it has to have an impact on you to go. That would be an interesting horror movie. I see it now. Like all the previews are for, the night before, but the movie is actually the next day.
That's a cool idea. I forgot where we were with Batman, but anyway.
Batman. The title of the episode.
Yeah. So I love the party man scene where he trashes the museum, which Jack said that as an art collector and art lover, that's the only thing he ever had to do with the Joker that made him uneasy.
Yeah.
Not all the murder, but trashing the museum.
Also, I do some spray paint art myself. Mm-hmm. And so whenever I saw one of the Joker goons pull out a can of spray paint, I was like, ooh, I'm going to nitpick this. When he sprays, no paint comes out of the can. He's just in the background moving his hand. Nothing's happening.
That's great.
Which the Joker goons are literally just normal dudes in bomber jackets with the Joker's like emblem on it.
Well, that's kind of what Joker's goons always are. They're just like regular guys wearing like clown makeup or a clown mask or some goofy shit. They're just here for the check. I love that Harley Quinn brings that up, that cartoon. Like everyone's just here for the check. Like even the supervillains have like, a league of their own where they're like collecting members' dues and shit.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
My favorite scene is when Bruce has decided that he's in love with Vicky and he's going to tell her everything.
Batman would never, ever do that. Ever.
Yeah. Batman has slept with more women than Bruce Wayne has.
Yes. Which, by the way, I always wonder, when Batman is sleeping with a woman, he has to keep the mask on, right? Like, that's a thing for them. Come on.
He insists on it. Are you kidding? Like, yes. Yeah, it's his whole thing.
Yep. They go to take it off. He's like, no. Which, speaking of the cowl, by the way, so I watched the last 20 minutes of the movie this time on 1.5 speed. If you haven't watched this movie on 1.5 speed, do it, because every movement that Batman makes is amplified, and the fact that he can't turn his fucking head has to be the biggest obstacle ever. He's a superhero that can't turn his head. That's be the most annoying thing ever.
I feel like yeah, all you gotta do to kill Batman is like sneak up behind him.
Yes. Like in the scene, he's like climbing up the clock tower. I will say right now, it is an important scene, so I went back to normal speed when the Joker and him started fighting. But when he's climbing up the clock tower, every time he looks up, he has to move his whole fucking body, and it's like, dude, you got to fix your costume. How is that not a thing? How is that not a thing you thought of?
Literally the only Batman who can do that is Christian Bale, because he brings that up in The Dark Knight. He's like, I'm too heavy, I can't move my head. Like, Lucius, you got to do something about this.
Could Ben Affleck move his head?
I don't think so. I think that was a pretty like solid costume. It looks solid.
It was like pure metal.
If the costume has no neck, Batman cannot move his head. Well, I was also looking at the trivia. Michael Keaton was like, he couldn't hear the whole time. The costume was so cumbersome and so heavy and thick, he could not hear anything.
That's fucking awesome. That's great. You know, I will say, with Batman and his gadgets, I love the Arkham games just because they don't bring all of it up, but the fact that he has, at least in the games, he has microphones in his like helmet and everything. It just works. I like Arkham Batman a lot. It's one of my favorite Batmans.
Oh, those games are fantastic. It's such a great story. I never questioned once all this shit he's got in his belt. Like, all of that is just hanging off him the whole time.
The only complaint I have, actually, it's not really a complaint. It's just something I find hilarious. Is every time in that game that he sprays his explosive gel, he does the fucking bat symbol. Like, why? You're about to.
That's so much extra work.
Yeah, you're about to blow it up, dude. Like, come on.
There's a time and place for the aesthetic. It's not here, Bats. Like, what are you doing? My favorite was in Asylum when he's gonna like trap Croc in that like underground thing, and he used the explosive gel to do it. And he paints a giant fucking bat symbol. Like, time is of the essence. Poison Ivy's taken over the island. Joker has prisoners. Croc wants to kill you. It's not time for arts and crafts.
Yeah. Speaking of Joker, the Batman Joker story in the Arkham games is phenomenal.
My God. Even like him being in his head in Arkham Knight was such a cool idea to see, like, in real time Batman turning into the Joker.
Yes.
I've replayed those games more than any, like, for the story alone.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. So I love Bruce is like, I'm going to be with this woman for the rest of my life. We never see her again after the first movie, by the way.
He goes through the same shit with Catwoman.
Yeah, doesn't see her again either. Nope. And then it's Nicole Kidman and some lady who isn't Poison Ivy.
Yes.
I don't even remember her name. I've been watching that movie since I was a kid. I do not remember her name.
Yeah, I don't either.
So he sits Vicky down and he's like trying to figure out a way to say this. And immediately she's like, God damn it, you're married. He's like, no, I'm not married. Just shut up. That's a great way to get a woman to love you. Just tell them, sit down and shut up.
Yeah, he gets so aggressive. Even his face, he's like, shut up. I'm like, God damn, Bruce.
That was Batman right there. That wasn't Bruce. That was Batman telling her.
Yeah, that was Batman. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before he can finish, Joker shows up and is like, you're cheating on me, girl. Like, he's got it in his head that Vicky belongs to him. Yeah. That whole scene where Bruce puts on the like the steel thing, like the bulletproof vest, and he breaks the vase and he just goes like, you want to get nuts?
You want to get crazy?
I have that little like 6-second clip saved on YouTube. I go to it for just if I'm having a bad day, I watch Michael Keaton go, you want to get nuts? And I immediately feel better.
I don't know why, but I know this doesn't make any sense, but I don't know why, but him doing that reminds me so much of Gene Wilder in Willy Wonka. Whenever he's like, you get nothing. I'm like, fuck, dude, calm down, man. I don't know why, but
it's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. Oh my God. Good call. Yeah.
Gene Wilder Joker? What?
70s Gene Wilder, I can 100% see that. You throw a little Willy Wonka, a little young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
You got a good Joker. That's a good call. I like that.
Do you wanna talk about? I mean, Joker is going to come up. I mean, it's a big topic now, especially now with Joaquin Phoenix and his. Okay, let me ask you, who is your favorite Joker?
All right, if we're talking total media, it's Mark Hamill.
Yep.
But if we're talking live action, it's definitely Heath Ledger.
So Mark Hamill in Arkham games or in the animated series?
To me, it's the same Joker. To me, the animated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. To me, the Arkham games are just the natural continuation of the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like I always thought that too. That the Arkham games is how the show finishes. Like the games is the finale to the series.
Have you ever seen the animated movie Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker?
No, I've actually haven't seen any Batman Beyond.
It's pretty good. You don't need to watch Batman Beyond to really get this movie. It's about the Joker and Batman's last fight. And the night that Batman killed the Joker.
Oh,
and
wow.
like the repercussions of that, because Joker shows up like 50 years later, younger in Gotham City to fight Batman Beyond. And older Bruce Wayne's like, you're not going to deal with this. This isn't your fight. You're no longer Batman. Give me the suit. I'm not letting you die.
Oh, shit.
And Terry, the new Batman's like, what the hell happened between you two? And he goes to older Barbara Gordon, who's now the commissioner, and she tells him the story. And it's such a cool story. It's such an awesome movie. It's on HBO Max. I recommend it. It's my favorite Joker story. It's so good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And it's Mark Hamill doing Joker.
It's two old dudes fighting?
Younger Batman fights. You find out why Joker looks younger and like what happened there. Like there's a big twist of like, oh shit, what? And it's really cool.
Maybe, I'll definitely watch it. Yeah. Maybe I'll give Batman Beyond a try too, just because I love the suit so much.
It's a fun show. It's, he's got his own enemies, but like sometimes we'll meet like, Ra's al Ghul pops in because he's immortal. He fights Bane at one point. Like the older villains do pop in from time to time. It's pretty good.
I'll give it a try. Yeah.
But I think Mark Hamill found something in the Joker that nobody else did. And I think Heath Ledger captured it perfectly in live action.
Yeah.
It could be because I watched The Dark Knight like 5 hours ago. But I've been in Batman mode for the past couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think he was incredible. Yeah.
For me, the Joker is I feel like every Joker is different. I don't really like comparing them. I don't like saying one's better than the other, just because when I walked out of the theater of Joker, I was like, oh, that was the best Joker. But then I thought about it and I was like, no, because that's not Joker. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker would get smashed to pieces if he fought Batman. So that's not Joker. Heath Ledger, I watched the movie and, he's really good, but there are other actors that have played crazy people before with the same vibe. And I'm like, I'm trying to decide like who is Joker. And then I realized that they're all different because they all look at Joker differently. And even I'm going to get flack from this. You'll probably kick me off the show for this, but honestly, Jared Leto's Joker, as bad as it was, I feel like made sense because he's just a gangbanger Joker. Like I feel like if a modern fucking fuckboy decided, oh, I'm going to be Joker, that's what it would be. I don't know. But yeah.
All right. Every Joker's got their fans. I get that. To me, a Joker is like, Joker has to reflect the darkest natures of the Batman he's going up against. Like,
yes,
you need Michael Keaton's Batman is all about keeping Gotham safe, avenging his parents. And you've got the psychopath who's trying to kill the city, who also killed his parents.
Yes.
With Christian Bale's Batman, he's very much trying to, establish legacy, leave Gotham in better hands than he found it. And you've got a Joker trying to tear this shit down.
Very philosophical is what I feel like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. It's chaos versus order. That's what the Dark Knight is.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared Leto's Joker, I guess, pimp Joker. I don't really know how he fits into anything.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have actually seen him go up against Batman. That might have helped.
Yeah. And then I hear that like Jared Leto, he's pissed off because he's like, they cut so much content from the movie, which I believe him, but until we see it, Jared Leto's Joker, I feel like is always going to be down in the trenches, which sucks because I like Jared Leto. I'm excited to see Morbius because Jared Leto's a great actor. So I wonder if it's his fault the Joker sucked or if it's the studio's fault the Joker sucked. Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, I don't know who to blame for Suicide Squad. I blame Warner Brothers because I know David Ayer is a competent filmmaker, and I know he did better than that.
Yeah.
And then Joaquin's just kind of sitting over here in this weird bubble where he's like in this independent production that doesn't really have any connection to DC Comics beyond the characters.
Yeah.
So I can't really judge his performance without seeing like what his version of Batman would look like. So yeah.
I always thought that Joaquin's Phoenix, his Joker was again, I know I haven't seen I haven't read the comics, but I feel like Joaquin's Joker is the origin of Joker, like the person that started this whole movement, and people have been like, holy fuck, I want to be like that guy. And then they sort of copy.
Okay. So he's a blueprint for somebody who's going to be inspired by that and become the Joker.
Yeah, like a symbol.
I could buy that. That's a perfect dark reflection of Batman, who's also viewed as a symbol, a suit anybody can wear if they believe in it. That's great. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And then Robert Pattinson, everyone I know is saying it because I'm saying the same. I'm saying the same thing. For Robert Pattinson, Robert Pattinson's Joker. They better do Willem Dafoe because that would be just perfect.
Yeah, I mean they already have amazing chemistry after The Lighthouse. Like that just makes sense. And Dafoe recently said that he has been thinking about it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Even because I know that they like each other, like they got along well during The Lighthouse. But I also know that they've said that they were like at some points they hated each other, and I want them to work together again in a very stressful environment because I feel like this Batman movie is going to be maybe not the darkest, but definitely the grittiest, like noir Batman movie. And I want to see this Joker and I want to see them like collide and hate each other again, just like they did in The Lighthouse. And the Green Goblin is already fucking the Joker. So like they're the same person, but one's in a green costume and the other one is in a purple costume. Like they're the same person.
Well, I know that Dafoe was on the short list in the 80s. Like he was very close to nabbing the role in this movie.
Oh, wow.
So he's been in productions like radar for the Joker for a very long time. So maybe it's time. Like, I've seen mock-ups of him in like, purple suit and white makeup. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, the dude's face is like made for this. This is the role of a lifetime.
For sure. I even thought about Jack Nicholson. His face, they didn't need to put that prosthetic on him in this movie. Just let Jack Nicholson be Jack Nicholson. Just that scene in The Shining when he's like, give me the bat. I'm like, holy fuck, that's the Joker. Right there. Give him the bat. Fuck. Give him the Batman. Oh.
Yep. As we've seen in 89's Batman, he is still trying to get that bat.
Yep.
I love the whole Smilex commercial. He's like, I get a grin again and again.
Dude, it's creepy. Like, I was like, fuck, I'm uncomfortable watching this.
I love that later on in Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the toothpaste that Charlie's dad is bottling is called Smilex toothpaste.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's neat. I love the whole idea of like cross-pollinating like beauty products and turning them into poisons is so Joker. And
yeah,
I love that he's like, I know you're asking, where can you find all these fine products? That's the gag. Chances are you bought them already. That's great.
Oh, and I also love how the news reporter, like after they realize that like all makeup is basically a death sentence, everyone looks like complete shit. They don't even look like normal people. They look like crackheads. They look awful after.
Yeah, I thought that was a good touch. Okay, so when Joker told Batman, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, which I love, he put it together that Joker's the guy who shot his parents. Yep. And that other guy, who I bet was Bob.
Yeah, I guess so. I love Bob. Oh my God, this scene. Oh, when the Joker goes up to Bob, and he's like, remember, Bob, you are my number one guy. And Bob goes, sure thing, boss, and puts the fucking sunglasses on and walks away. I was like, fuck, I need the 80s back, man. That was so fucking lame.
That whole bit was improvised by Jack.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was mocking Jack Palance for doing it to him earlier, because he figured that would be in character for Joker. And Bob was just like, he wasn't in the script. The guy who plays Bob is a friend of Jack Nicholson's, who Jack said, I'm not doing the movie unless my buddy gets to be in it too.
That's fucking awesome.
And they made him Bob.
I like to believe that Jack Nicholson didn't tell anyone, and Bob was just there, and they're like, wait, who the fuck is this guy?
Read the contract, Tim. This is my friend Tracy. He's going to be in all my scenes.
He said that just like that. And Tim Burton was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to argue with you.
Yeah, this is my third movie. I'm not arguing with Jack Nicholson. Action.
Really quick, I like how I'm going to get a little meta. After the Joker dies at the end of the movie, when he's laying there and that box is laughing after he's dead.
Yeah.
A little meta. I think it's kind of symbolic because the Joker might die, but I mean, the legacy will never die.
Yeah. You can't kill the laughter.
Nope.
Yeah. And that's kind of a tradition in Batman comics and media, cartoons. Joker dies, but are you sure?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Somebody always comes back in white makeup and a purple suit to fuck with Batman. It might not be the same guy, but someone's going to do it.
Is that what DC's doing now? Is it like confirmed that the Joker is different people, but it's like a group of people?
They did a comic a couple years ago called Three Jokers, where it was revealed that throughout all of Batman's comic books, there have been three Jokers working in tandem.
Oh, wow.
And it was really good. I read it. It was really cool.
Wasn't there like a weird one-off guy who wasn't any of the Jokers? He was just a crazy dude who cut off Joker's face and stapled it to his own.
I think that was Joker who cut off his own face.
Oh, okay.
But they did something like that in the Gotham show, which was a weird Batman knockoff.
Yeah, I didn't really like Gotham. I didn't really like Gotham because, no, you can't be Kid Batman. I mean,
I stuck with that for so long. I watched the whole thing because I was waiting to see, like, I better get a Batman at the end of this thing. Like, there better be some chocolate at the center of this fucking Tootsie Roll. Like, I want.
Yeah,
I put in the work. And I thought the kid who played like the kind of Joker, because they weren't allowed to call him Joker for whatever the fuck reason.
Jonah, right? Was his name? Right?
I think it was Jerome.
Jerome, that's what it was.
Yeah. And then the twin brother they pulled out of their ass in season 5.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Sometimes I think it must be so easy to write for television.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, Joker, and one of my favorite bits is when Batman shows up with the Batwing, takes the balloons from the festival, and then
there's my balloons.
Yeah, it's like, why did he tell me they had one of those? And then he kills Bob because he's like, I need a minute alone. Like, he's really hurt.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out his pistol, which is like 2 feet long. I love that. Blows up the Batwing with that shot that like makes him stumble back.
Yep. Yeah.
Pure Joker.
I think the Batmobile in this movie is the best Batmobile in any movie because the what's it called, the tumbler in the Dark Knight.
Yeah. It's
cool, but it's not a Batmobile. It's a military vehicle that he painted black. But this movie, that is a Batmobile.
That's true. I feel like Pattinson's car looks like a Dodge Charger, which is okay. I mean, it's his first couple years.
It reminds me of the animated series Batmobile.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah.
I prefer Keaton's Batmobile. I love in Batman Returns when Penguin fucks with it.
Yes.
Yeah. There's so much about this particular Batman that set a standard for Batman. It's so important. Without this movie, you don't have so much. It's one of those tent poles, and I'm glad we're able to cover it here because this is just, it's gravy. It's a good movie.
I'm glad I'm able to be part of this episode. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So, another Joker line. I would be remiss without mentioning. After he shoots Bruce Wayne in Vicky's apartment, and he just goes up to him and goes, "Never rub another man's rhubarb."
Yeah. That's why I love this Joker, because he is a joker. He's literally just a psychopath having a fun time who's like, I guess I'm the villain. That's what happened. He looked himself in the mirror and was like, fuck, I guess I'm the villain now. Guess I gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I'm no longer a crime boss. Like, no one's taking orders from this unless I kill a few people.
Yeah. Oh my God. The fact that he killed someone with a hand buzzer is fucking...
Didn't just kill them, but like fucking cooked them slowly. Yeah, that looked incredibly painful.
And he's laughing the whole time. He's like, he was a little hot under the collar. Like, Jack, calm down.
This is peace talks. You're supposed to be negotiating with the crime bosses of Gotham City here, and you just vaporized one over the course of like 40 seconds.
Yeah. Yep.
But that idiot thinking you could just shake hands with the homicidal clown, the permanent grin, and just walk away.
Yep. I like how he second guessed himself. He was like, I'll tell you what, you shake my hand right now, no deal, and you walk away. And the guy's like, yeah. And the Joker's like, yeah. And he's like, okay. Like, no.
Oh boy. I think Batman's execution of the Joker is pretty interesting. Almost every Batman villain who dies in the movies dies from falling off of something.
Yep. I thought the same thing.
It's like Batman's way to like wash his hands of it. It's like, I didn't kill him, gravity killed him.
Exactly. That's how they killed the Joker in The Dark Knight. He falls off a building.
Yep. That's how they would have killed him, but then Batman caught him because he's like, you're not winning this one, Joker.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I haven't seen it in a long time.
That's all right. I know, like, Batman Returns, Penguin falls off the zoo thing into the water. Oh, yeah. Batman Forever, Two-Face gets knocked off the ledge with the fucking coins.
No, yeah.
Like, nobody dies in Batman and Robin because it was for kids, I guess.
Do you think Batman and Robin was made as a parody? That and Batman Forever? Do you think they were like, all right, let's roll with it?
Batman Forever, I don't think so. I think that it just happened. But Batman and Robin, I think they're like, you know what? We're already halfway through this shit sandwich. Let's just finish it.
They did an Army of Darkness situation. They're like, yeah, fuck it.
How dare you compare Batman and Robin to that masterpiece?
I'm sorry. You know what? The Evil Dead trilogy is my top, I would say right below Hook and Treasure Planet.
Oh, the Evil Dead trilogy is the most flawless horror franchise ever made. There has been no weak link in the Evil Dead franchise. Even the remake's pretty good.
Yeah. I get chills every time I watch the remake, and the girl, she's like, they're going to get in here and kill all of us. I'm like, oh, dude, I get chills every time.
Dude, for me, it's the scene where Mia gets the car lands on her hand and she has to fucking pull her fucking hand off. Shit. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that movie. So yeah, Batman manages to get a bat grappler thing around Joker's leg. He falls off the rope, lands hard on the pavement. No blood at all. Like, nope, full impact right into the ground, which I find kind of hilarious, like a cartoon character.
Still with a smile.
Yeah, you got to go with a smile.
Exactly. Do you think he knew he was going to die?
He looked pretty surprised. I think he figured, I'm going to get out of this and, I don't know, get those balloons back.
Yep. I like to, I think that's when when on top of that clock tower, when Batman and Vicky were hanging there and he was sitting above them dancing, and then he starts laughing and he looks at the gargoyle and he's like, what are you laughing at? I feel like that's when he like became the Joker, and then he died right after.
Well, you look at like Heath Ledger's acceptance of it, where he's like laughing all the way down. Jack is screaming.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's like, oh God. I don't think he has expected that to happen.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, Batman, sends this strongly worded letter to the cops being like, if the forces of evil should ever rise again, like you're fucking Neo or some shit.
He says, what does he say in the letter? The first sentence in the letter is like, the wave of crime is over. No, it's fucking not. It was happening before the Joker was Joker. Look where you live. Who the fuck would live in Gotham City? It is the worst place to live.
I agree with that entirely. I mean, I'm sure property values fucking suck. And also, you could get murdered any second, no matter what you do.
I know.
And nobody ever does anything about it because these assholes are back on the street in like a day and a half. But I love the arrogance of Batman to be like, I have wiped crime from Gotham City.
Yeah. He's like, I've done it. That's it. Until next week, when a man that looks like a penguin fucks it all up again.
You did nothing about Carl Grisham for so long.
Nope.
But one dude turned into a clown, and suddenly it's your highest priority.
Oh, no. A dude turned into a clown and tried to take his girlfriend. That's when he got involved.
That's true. He was just kind of walking around like, this will sort itself out.
Yeah.
And then Vicky
was like, he's like, who is this guy? I'm a little interested. Ah, fuck. He took my one night stand. That's it. I'm gonna get him.
I love when Bob's like, when Jack sees her picture and he's like, who is this? And Bob's like, she's dating some guy named Wayne. He's like, she's about to trade up.
Yeah.
Wish I had that confidence.
Yep. And then I always think it's an overdone trope when like there's a villain who wants a girl, and then to distract the villain, the girl is always like, oh, you're right. Ooh. And I like how Jack Nicholson was like, oh fuck, it worked. Like for a second, he was like, are you kidding me? He's like, do you see who I am?
There is this incredulity in his face of like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the worst example of this is in Aladdin. Even Jafar was like, bitch, no. But Joker was like, oh fuck, really?
It's that moment of like, Eureka. I did
it. Yeah.
She's like, Batman just walks up to her without a bat voice and just like, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Yes.
Like he's given up entirely. Like this is Bruce Wayne taking down Joker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's great shit. So it ends with the bat signal going to the cops and this idea that, Batman will always be out there to declare the city crime free every time he stops one bad guy.
Yep, exactly. I love how the bat symbol is perfectly projected into the night sky.
That's been something that's bugged me in a lot of the Batman movies.
Yep.
Like at least in the Nolan trilogy, it was like it could have been a bat. Like it doesn't even look that much like a bat.
I like to think like like some club is like grand opening and they use the fucking searchlights and Batman's like, oh fuck, where do I go?
Or better yet, it completely obscures the bat signal and he had no idea there was going to be like houses on fire or some shit's going on. He didn't even get the memo.
Yep.
I also love when Batman Returns, he's got the like signal amplifiers on his mansion. Like nobody's going to see that shit.
Yes. Oh yeah, I was also going to point out, I like how when Batman is in the car with Vicky, and obviously she's starting to catch on that Batman is Bruce Wayne, which by the way, the fact that no one has caught on, bullshit. Everyone in Gotham knows who Batman is. But when they're driving, they're going in the direction of his mansion. And she's like, where are we going? And they end up in a cave? Are you kidding me? Right then, I'd be like, oh, see Bruce Wayne. Got it. Cool.
I'd be like, you kind of sound like this dude I've been banging.
Yes. How do they not make the connection?
Like you people if somebody walks up to you with a mask and talks to you, I hope you recognize who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny just because it's so unnecessary when like they're being chased by the Joker after the museum and Vicky has to get on his grappler and flies up into the sky. And then like later on, he's like, you gave me the wrong weight. You're a little heavier than that. Like, you didn't need to say that, bro. She's already freaked out. Why are you fucking with her morale?
What's funny is when he said when they were hanging there and he's like, you see the thing on my on my belt? You know why he said that?
What?
Because he couldn't look down. He had to make sure she saw it because he couldn't grab it for her. She had to grab it.
That's hilarious. I'm glad. I wonder if he was like really conscious of where he put that. He's like, all right, it's on the left. It's got to be. All right, remember that. It's on the left.
Yeah, because he doesn't tell her where it is. He's like, please, please, please. You see the thing on my belt? My belt. There you go.
Oh, he also did. He just said, hold on. He didn't tell her like you are going to like soar into the sky. So you better hold on to that thing for dear life because I can't save you.
God.
Oh boy. All right. I think we covered pretty much every scene of this movie.
Yeah, we did.
Here are some Filmgazm facts for Batman. Number one, Robin Williams was offered the role of Joker when Jack Nicholson initially hesitated. He would have been amazing.
Yeah, I feel like he would. I don't think he would have been a good Joker in any other Batman movie other than this one.
I agree. And so did he. He had accepted the role when producers approached Nicholson again and told him that Robin Williams would take the part if he didn't. Nicholson then took the role, and Williams was released from production. And he really resented that he was used as bait to get Jack Nicholson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because of this resentment, he refused to play Riddler in Batman Forever when he was offered the role then.
And
he
I
also
think he would have been good as Riddler.
Maybe not. Yeah, not the direction they were taking it.
Yeah.
But he also refused to be involved in any Warner Brothers production until the studio apologized for that.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I want to have clout where I get to make studios apologize for slighting me.
Yeah. Like the whole, I don't know if they apologized, but the whole Disney and Scarlett Johansson thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did they apologize to her?
They worked it out. Whatever it was, the beef got settled. So I think, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that bad. I don't feel bad for anybody who's like making $30-40 million.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Number two, I already talked a bit about this. Jack Nicholson received a percentage of the gross on the film due to its massive box office intake. He took around $60 million home, equivalent of $100 million today. As of 2003, it was still the single movie record for an actor's salary. That was the most any one man had made on a movie up to that point. I bet it's been passed. I couldn't tell you who it's been passed.
Sure.
By. I have a feeling Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I would imagine it would be Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans, one of the two.
Well, I know RDJ was probably taking percentage points on those Avengers movies, which was smart.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In a 2020 interview, Michael Keaton revealed he was really nervous and self-conscious about working with Jack Nicholson because he's so strong on film and had so much power. It ended up being great because Nicholson made everybody feel really, really relaxed, and they ended up becoming close friends.
Which again, furthers my point. Jack Nicholson is a psychopath.
Yeah, he's like, I'm playing the Joker, and he's like, everybody relax. I'm just here to have fun.
He's like, everybody relax. Everything's okay. All right, everybody.
I made $60 million off this weird little movie. There's not going to be any such thing as a bad day from here on out for Jack. Like, been good to me. He's fucking crazy. I was just like, you're supposed to be my enemy, Mike, but why don't we be friends instead? It'll help our characters. I'd be terrified to talk to this guy.
Oh my God. No.
Let alone be in a movie with him. So there was one true sequel, 1992's Batman Returns, which we covered on the show way back in episode 115. At the time, it was our longest show. We went about 2 hours and 40 minutes on that thing.
Oh, damn.
We love it so much. We were just like, we couldn't stop talking about it. Michael Keaton returns as Batman, who goes up against a psychotic sewer mutant called the Penguin, played by Danny DeVito, and the vengeful but seductive Catwoman, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. It's a fantastic Batman movie, and it's the personal favorite Christmas movie of podcast co-founder Austin Johnson, who did that episode with me. Check it out. We had a blast. Batman Returns is fucking awesome. If you want to hear our thoughts on that, check out episode 115.
Do you like this one more, or do you like Batman Returns more?
I think this one.
Yeah.
I love Batman Returns. Christopher Walken's one of my favorite actors of all time. The fact that he's there just being like a, malicious businessman.
He's being Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Like, wow. Why? What are you doing? Fucking with my power plant plans, Selena. Like, I buy it. You're a penguin man. I'm going to make you the mayor. Like, okay.
Also, I don't know what it is. But as cringy as she is in this movie, I love Catwoman in this movie. Just because she is a crazy cat lady turned into I don't know. She's not even a vigilante. She's not even an anti-hero. She's just there.
That's true.
Like, she's not a villain. She's not a hero. She's not a Deadpool type character. She's just Catwoman.
She's just being a cat and happening to like cross paths with Penguin, and like the only reason she wants Batman dead is because he won't keep letting her do cat stuff.
Yep.
I think it's odd that Tim Burton like ignored the source material and just went with like the literal Penguin and Catwoman. Like,
Yes.
Penguin in the comics is like a short Cockney gangster. He's not a mutant fish man. So it's a good performance, but it's a weird direction for the character.
It fits the vibe, though. It definitely does.
It does. It really does.
Part of me wants to believe that Tim Burton didn't read anything before making this movie, like at all. He was like, "What's his name? Penguin? I got it." It's like, no, Tim, you really should read some of the source material. He's like, nope, I got it.
Well, he apparently doesn't read. He didn't read any comic books because he's dyslexic, and he didn't like the way it read, so he just didn't read any comic books.
Is he really dyslexic?
Yeah.
This might be an ignorant thing to say, but how does he write? Because he's written poem. He wrote. No, did he write? Yeah, he wrote The Night Before Christmas. How does he write? Can he still write when you're dyslexic? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know how that works. I've never been dyslexic. I've never known anybody who was, so I couldn't tell you, but I'd like to know that. Yeah. Batman Returns is fun. After that, Burton declined to return for a third film after the producers wanted to go in a more campy direction because Batman Returns didn't sell enough toys.
What?
Yeah, they're like, this isn't really for kids, and Burton's like, no shit. The fat, horny penguin man didn't sell enough kid toys. Like, no way. Mm-hmm. So they decided, like, we want to be more like the show. And Burton was like, I don't like that. And they're like, well, we don't like you. Fuck off. We'll get somebody else.
Yep.
So when Burton left, Michael Keaton left. And when he left, everyone else they had planned to be in Batman Forever also left. They started from scratch. Burton got a producer credit. And we all know what happened. Keaton was replaced by Val Kilmer. The film became Batman Forever.
I cannot believe I mixed up Val Kilmer and Michael Keaton.
It happens. And you certainly redeemed yourself afterwards. So,
yeah. Sorry.
So more about Batman Forever on Friday, where Caleb and I will be discussing that film on our other podcast, Beyond the Bad. I have a lot I have to do per week.
Life's been good to you.
I've had a permanent grin on my face for 3 years. I give Batman a 9. It's such a fun movie. It's one I grew up with. I still think it holds up thanks to the atmosphere, the production design, the gorgeous score, and of course the epic performances.
Yeah, I give it a 9 for the exact same reason, just because everything goes so well together, and it goes together so well. The vibe, just the aesthetic, everything, the music goes so well together that now anytime I think DC, I think of this weird Burton-esque Batman. Like, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, you're not alone in there. This has become an important movie to a lot of Batman fans. I mean, it, redeemed the character at a time when Adam West was all anybody had. I can't imagine living in a world where the only live action Batman I've got is fucking Adam West. At least now I've got options.
Yep. You got bad options. Okay. I'm sorry.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like the show, feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Filmgazm Productions. If you want to suggest films for us to check out, you can always email us at filmgazm@gmail.com or send us messages through the socials. If you want to support the show, you can always click on support this podcast on your podcast provider. We appreciate all donations, and I'd very much like to thank Colton for guest hosting this episode with me.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Next week, prepare to meet yet another new guest host who is joining the team with his debut episode, a film he chose and one we've been planning to do for a while, so that worked out great. Next week, we'll be covering the controversial 2001 creature feature, Jeepers Creepers.
Oh,
which follows a brother and sister who are hunted by a sadistic monster who is in the midst of his ritualistic killing spree. The controversy comes from writer-director Victor Salva, who is a convicted child molester. More on that next week.
Great.
Yeah, a lot of people have completely refused to watch this movie, have said fuck this movie because of this psycho who wrote this movie while he was serving time for child pornography. So yeah, hard to argue with their logic, but I believe wholeheartedly in separating the men from the work. So we're going to see if we can do that. And I'm excited for y'all to meet Christian. So, yeah, new guy.
Oh yeah.
Don't miss Batman Forever on Fridays Beyond the Bad. Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins on Oscar Sunday, and Matt Reeves' The Batman on Monday's sneak preview. Bat Week, Batcast. In the meantime, never rub another man for rhubarb. Always dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, and keep watching movies.